Like, Sneaky, can you blame him for being confused?
I can blame him a little bit for being confused.
Okay, alright. So the guy who built it. Oh my god, this is... Wow, this is downright offensive. I'm just gonna link...
Cool.
I'm just gonna link the picture of the man from one of the...
Hello, Internet!
His
There's
name is
my
Baron
intro.
Katana.
This is Fanfiction Tuesday. Sorry it's so fucking late, but you know, troubles of the electronical variety today seem to be the name of the game. Politely change Twitch title. You are correct. I do need to change Twitch title.
Yeah.
Boom. It should update soon. Ah, I'm fucking blind. Alright. That should probably fix title. If not, well, I don't know what to say. Anyway, as it is Tuesday, and it's a Contempt theater, and, well, you know what that is. That means we're going back to old shit. And reading that. Reading the second chapter of any old shit, and reading other stories from authors we've previously touched upon. As always, do not, you know, visit or otherwise harass these authors unless the intent is to read their story. At which point, go for it, because they can't notice you doing that beyond being another number. But yeah, do not message them. Do not leave reviews unless they're, you know, good ones. But yeah. So, anything else needs to be said? No, I think I fucking covered it all. So I'm gonna go get my glasses so I can fucking read this shit, and then we're gonna go. Okay, got my glasses. Politely change Twitch title. Everything seems to be working on everyone's end. Yes. So, okay, and boom. Let us begin. I knew I was forgetting something. So this is the chapter 2 of Targeted Interference, which is the extremely well done Mass Effect fanfiction.
Oh, wait, is that the one where she's going to become an angry little assassin?
Yes, this is the angry little assassin one, where
yes, I remember. I wasn't a fan of that one because apparently she's going to be bonking Thane.
Apparently.
Well, what's this one?
Which that's just not my ship, yo.
This must have been the one of the nights I was off stream.
It's possible.
Probably.
Alright, and pop out that chat, and okay, now everything's set to go. How's everyone doing tonight? You know,
okay, I guess. I'm just tired.
Tired of murder?
No, I'm just tired.
Oh, okay. Anyway, as a reminder, here's the summary. Targeted interference. Jasmine Shepard joined the Alliance, but instead of following the path that would lead her to save the galaxy, she became a phantom. Working as an assassin for the Alliance's unofficial program, Jasmine encounters Thane Krios when they are both assigned to the same target. Bested by the Drell assassin, Jasmine pushes herself to surpass Thane, but gets more than she bargained for. So I just want to point out actually one thing I probably missed last time around. The author does specify that she's not saving the galaxy.
Which... yeah.
I don't think I noticed this last time around. But the author did actually specify that she is not going to be saving the galaxy. Which
is not necessarily a problem in and of
Yeah.
itself, but yeah, holy crap, Max, you weren't kidding. That is super offensive.
Yeah, that's a bit offensive. It's quite a bit.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
1968. Yeah, that explains it.
Alexandre Marquise. Who the fuck is that? Jasmine's eyes strained to pierce the darkness of the shadow across the expanse. Did they send someone to watch me? One time I fucked up. One time in 3 years as a phantom and they got a tail on me now? His posture mimicking Jasmine's, the blurry slitow.
Alright, hold on. I want to point out, I'm not saying this is necessarily a problem, but boy, have we jumped ahead in the time scale here.
Yes.
We've gone from her being essentially a street waif that, let's be real, has no combat training, to, oh, hey, I'm part of a shadow organization. Like, not even a training montage or a, hey, here's why she was put in the, like,
I don't
you're
resent them.
skipping some important information.
Yeah, well, we're skipping a little bit of an important information in terms of, literally several years in her entire training.
Yeah.
Now, I have seen authors not do it. In terms of not telling anything, like they just completely do skip it all. What fandom this is targeted interference. This is the Mass Effect fanfiction that we had previously covered 2 weeks ago. But anyway, I've seen authors in various the fandoms just do straight up time skips of several years. I've also never seen any of their stories completed. I don't know if there's a correlation there. But I do know it is a method typically employed by authors who don't want to be talking about a majority of that stuff because they either don't know about it or they just want to get straight to the action or etc. I wouldn't say it hurts the story though. Yeah, the time skip feels natural. Yeah, like I said, I don't think it would hurt the story.
I'm not saying it doesn't. I'm not saying it doesn't.
It is. I think what Adam was pointing out is it's just a very large chunk of time to skip.
And it's not necessarily saying it's a bad thing, but it's fairly abrupt.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, I personally would say, as someone who really enjoys seeing things and isn't just going to be, oh, you know, it's been X amount of years since then, and, you know, she's learned X and X thing now. Which, I mean, I don't think this author is going to do. Because they prove they don't do that sort of stuff. But I would say a better way of skipping that many years would be, you know, flash, you know, little paragraph excerpt from training to last year of training to first years of Phantom to now, you know.
Yeah.
Just give us a little bit of something to show some minor development.
You know, we're not saying you have to go crazy here, but a little something like.
Yeah. No. Like I said, it's, you know, just think about it. Just think about it. You know. Think about it. Anyway, back into it. She suppressed a growl and turned her attention back to her target, Alexandre Marquise. The dossier the Alliance gave her detailed him as a 42 years of age. Who the fuck says that? 6'2" and 183 pounds. Marquise and his wife, 43-year-old Ella Marquise, had a 20-year-old son named John. The Alliance suspected Marquise of running an arms trade with Batarian slavers. Jasmine reviewed the evidence they had and didn't think it was very substantial, which is exactly why she had been sent to kill him. The Alliance wanted dangerous men. There's a random period there. Dangerous men like Marquise out of the equation. And if they couldn't take someone like him out above board, they sent in a phantom. Yeah, no. I'm surprised. I'm satisfactorily surprised that they actually wrote out all the numbers instead of just plopping them in.
Good for them. They did it correctly.
Technically speaking, yeah. I am on a Discord now where I do give writing assistance.
Oh boy.
It is something I've said before, and it's something I'll say again. When it comes to creative writing, unlike essays and any other form of writing, most writing rules can be ignored in favor of it flowing properly or it's fitting a certain theme. I've seen the narration being written in a very choppy, low intelligence word usage style when the narration was being done by a less intelligent person who was sort of feral. Obviously that breaks a shit ton of writing rules. you know.
Just a few.
Fucking hell, The Road. That shit's just run-on sentence and wall of text block central. It's a fucking amazing book. As long as your writing all fits a theme deliberately fits a theme and or flows properly, people really don't care about the flow, oh, you're not using the comma correctly. I mean, sure, there's gonna be people out there that are, but it's for creative writing. It's more about, does it look pretty? Does it work? Does it not set people off when they read it? Anyway. Yeah, here we go. Swinging her sniper rifle into position, Jasmine put her eye to the scope. Marquise paced the floor of the office down below. Unsure whether the glass was reinforced or not, Jasmine didn't dare take the risk of trying to fire through the wall to hit her target. A misjudgment on her part would alert Marquise that his life was in danger. Even normal glass could still pose a problem. If hit at the wrong angle, it would shatter. If it didn't shatter, it would leave a perfect hole that could be used to trace the trajectory of her shot, leading C-Sec straight to her perch. She didn't see any reason to risk them finding any trace evidence she might accidentally leave behind.
Okay, but you could circumvent that by leaving an explosive device there, like...
Or just using a stronger sniper rifle.
Yeah, or using a stronger sniper rifle, or putting down a tarp before you start sniping, or just starting a fire there. There are many things you could do.
Bleach. Yeah, there's a couple things. And it would be exceptionally stupid move with Big Brother Phantom over there watching. She resisted the urge to look at the mysterious figure again. Jasmine ignored the cramping in her arms and waited. I wonder who they sent. I bet it's Rawl. Smug asshole. Marquise threw his hands up in frustration. His face reddened as he yelled at the other two men in the room. According to her intel, they were Michael Vatic and James Roman. They worked for Marquise at his shipping company. Marquise's shipping and supplies, running the cargo lines. Unimportant laborers on paper, but in reality, thugs Marquise used as bodyguards in his arms trade. Jasmine wouldn't lose any sleep if a stray bullet hit one of them, but they weren't her target, so she ignored them.
You know, for not having a lot of information on this guy, they seem to have a hell of a lot of information.
Zeke's actually does point out something, for wondering if the glass is reinforced or not, and they later invalidate it by saying it regardless, they weren't going to take a shot through the glass. And yeah, that's true. Yeah, no, I don't, like I said, I don't think there's gonna be that many people complaining about that. And you could get away with claiming, oh, you know, it's just stream of consciousness. Oh, I wonder if the glass is reinforced. Oh, it won't matter if it's reinforced. I can't take the shot anyway. You know.
Yeah, but we haven't been getting a... I don't think we've really been getting a stream of...
Yeah, it's not exactly been the style of it so far. So it's like, okay, well, you could get away from it, but it's a little bit of a break from what you've been normally doing. Come on, you asshole. Leave your office so I can go home. That's a bit of it. Jasmine ripped her face away from the scope to look at the office. The glass wall began to darken. Someone had activated its primary function. Damn it. She took a second to glance at the phantom across the expanse, but he had disappeared. Damn it, damn it,
hold on.
damn
Why
it.
do you care? Why does she care about the glass darkening?
Because she can't see inside anymore, apparently.
But she just said she wasn't going to shoot through that. Like, I mean, I guess it could be kind of useful, but if you're not going to shoot through the glass, you should be moving to a different vantage point anyway.
Yeah, I know. So it's clear the author isn't exactly experienced with assassinating people, or with the idea of how you assassinate a person.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I should hope the author isn't experienced in assassination.
But yeah, no, they that is something they should have questioned themselves. Of, okay, you know, what's the obvious? Oh, why aren't they doing this? Okay, either think about that and then be like, okay, yeah, have them do that obvious stream of logic, or alternatively, okay, explain why they would move to a new location or get closer. You know.
Yeah.
You know, maybe they were specified they had to kill him by a long-range shot with the rifle, or something. You know. Just anticipate.
And sure, if evidence is a concern, I can understand not wanting to get up and knife him, but you could always just take the body with you.
Yeah, you're basically just when you're writing fan fiction, especially, anticipate the most common question, because it can be typically answered in the story without, like, disrupting the story's flow. And more often than not, you can probably answer a question someone's going to be like, oh, well, why didn't they blank? Without, like, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so far we have a little bit of a problem here, but yeah. She rounded a steel I-beam support and saw the other phantom crouched down low, balanced on a horizontal beam above the ceiling panels. A ventilation panel set into the tiles just in front of him, letting thin streams of light into the area. The fuck? Is he stealing my target? Jasmine inched her way out onto the beam, her movement bringing the attention of the phantom. He turned his head a fraction of an inch in her direction, but it was enough for the light to catch his face. Definitely not Rawl. Is that... Shit, that's a Drell. Who the hell is he?
Oh, now we got questions. Shoot him, shoot him, shoot him.
I live, what are we doing? We are reading, hi Isley, we are reading a, chapter 2 of Targeted Interference, the Mass Effect fanfiction where Shepard becomes an assassin. It's okay writing so far, it's just the author doesn't exactly know, that much about assassination, or they didn't even, like, sit down and think about what they were writing when they were writing it. So we get a lot of really common, well, why aren't they doing this questions? And then it's like, well, that's actually a fairly good question. That's what we're doing right now.
Is this supposed to be a stakeout gone wrong?
Yes.
I wonder.
No, because supposedly she's supposed to be in there doing, like, she's supposed to be there to kill him.
Oh, did I not link it on the YouTubes? Okay, let me rectify that. There we go. It has been rectified.
Yeah, but, like, that doesn't mean that this is the point at which she's going to kill him. Like,
Okay,
we sure
true,
this isn't just a
but
reconnaissance and she's just trying to figure out his
if it
movements
is, they
and
haven't
routines?
Well,
explained
see, yeah,
that at all.
if it is a reconnaissance, Max, they shouldn't have had the person wonder about, oh, well, if I can't take the shot now because the glass is in the way at the angle I'm at, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
They already spoiled it that it was the assassination attempt by saying shit like, come on, asshole, leave your office so I can go home, and talking about shooting through the glass and whatnot.
Yeah. Because as it is right now, she's like, oh, I could shoot through the glass, but if I shoot through the glass, either the glass will shatter, or it'll lead them right to where I'm sitting. I don't want them to see that. And then she got upset when the glass was darkening. Well, now, while that could be related to a stakeout, based on the fact that it talked about sniping, and the fact that she's planning on killing the guy, it implies that she's going to try to kill him now, so glass darkening is a problem for that.
Yeah. So,
His writing style's a bit all over the place.
Yes.
With the
Which is
descriptions.
one of the things we wanted to point out.
yeah. As great as it was, it's got some problems into it now. Now that he's really getting into, quote unquote, into the story, the problems in the writing style are definitely starting to become apparent.
Zex, you've apparently never played an Arma mission.
You don't recon with a sniper rifle. Well, Zex, you know, maybe you
can.
Like, I would totally bring it on reconnaissance on the off chance of, oh, I could just do the job now and no one would know.
Basically. The man
Also,
with
it's
green...
a good scope, so...
Yeah. The man with
Although, I
green
mean, you can't
scaled
just pull the
skin
scope off.
and black orbs for eyes removed the ventilation panel. You just call him a Drell. And sliding it out of
I was gonna
the
say,
ceiling.
it's not like she doesn't know what a Drell is. She just was like, oh, that's it. She's like, oh, that's a Drell. It wasn't like oh, that's a weird alien. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, no, I would certainly say for this story it would have been better served to just call them a Drell and not give this, like, elongated description of the species. Mostly because no one is going to be reading this story unless they're really enjoying Mass Effect, at which point they would know what a Drell is. Just to clarify, this is a Mass Effect mission, right? If by Mass Effect mission you mean it's in the Mass Effect world, Yeah. This is not a quote-unquote mission you do in any of the 3 Mass Effects. So, yeah. I'm probably only gonna read a couple more paragraphs since we've already talked about this shit. Yeah. I mean, that's also very long. I just,
What do you say? And again, we're not saying the story's bad. By no means are we saying it's, especially compared to some of the stuff we read on this.
Yeah, especially compared to some of the stuff we've read. It's certainly higher quality, but it's got its own problems. It's, you know, so. Anyway.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. Shit. Moving to the opening, she settled her rifle onto high ready. Where's Marquise? Where there? What? Okay. Jasmine lined up a shot while Marquise fled from the pistol-wielding assassin below. The guards already sprawled across the floor, the heads twisted at an unnatural angles. She pulled the trigger. Her shot was high and off-center, next to the hole left by the stranger. And off-center next to the hole left by the stranger.
I thought he.
Oh, so like
through the vent.
Wait. Oh, okay. So the Drell shot the Marquise. Okay.
No, he shot his guards.
No. The Drell shot the Marquise. They're trying to say that her shot missed because the Drell had already shot the Marquise and he was falling.
Oh. Yeah,
that was just an insanely awkward way to write it.
Yeah, no, I see what you're saying now, but boy, that was, that needs some reworking.
The Drell lowered his gun as Marquise dropped to the floor. He didn't even bother to turn around and look at her as he put his pistol away and moved to crouch in front of Marquise. When he stood again, Jasmine saw he had crossed Marquise's arms over his chest and now stood with his hands clasped and his head bowed. Is he praying? Christ, who is this guy? Jasmine pushed her sniper rifle around to the side and opened her Omni tool. She kept one eye on the assassin as she activated the camera app and snapped a quick picture. She looked at the image on the holoscreen to be sure she got him before lifting her eyes to him once more. He had turned his body at an angle, giving her a smaller target. With his face lifted to the light, she could see his eyes weren't in fact solid black orbs, but beneath a darkened layer moved more human-like green eyes. Jasmine shifted her Omni tool and tapped the button again, taking another picture of the alien with Marquise's corpse in the background. Yeah. So, it's just a Mass Effect fanfic, yeah. Yeah. Alright, so we're gonna cut it off right here. It's still quality writing in terms of everything else. If it's up your alley, as this sounds like more of a drama story, which it probably is not labeled as anything. This just sounds a lot more like a drama story so far, possibly romance.
I mean, according to later reviews, there's definitely romance.
Yeah.
If for whatever reason you don't like, I'm trying to think. If for whatever reason you don't like, oh my god, I can't think of his name. Who is he? The Drell.
Thane.
Yeah, if you don't like Thane and Femshep, don't read it.
Yeah.
Because apparently that's what this one contains. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is a good segue into what I wanted to talk about. It's something I want to reiterate every once in a while, especially now that we have more people watching than before. I've talked about this before, in that there is the question, the overarching question when you're writing a fan fiction that you should be answering, and the question is why? Why are you writing this story specifically? Is it because you want to see, you know, a blank main character had a different past, so how does that change the canon once the canon begins? You know, how does that change the main character's interactions with people? Or, blank is switched, blank, but at the same time, that's the pivot point that you're coming off of. But why? I've seen so many stories that could have been good ideas, but it never seemed like the author really nailed down why they were doing the story. So as such, it kind of just fell apart after a while.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have new people here.
Oh, well,
So why is a big question you need to ask, and it's something I'll say, before. Like, sometimes there are stupid ideas. Unlike what some teachers will say about no stupid questions and whatnot. No, there is sometimes stupid ideas. And yes, there is more of the cracky variety, and that, entails people who write, high school fictions and college fictions and, whatever. It's not my cup of tea, and it's certainly a lot more cracky, and thus basically can ignore the why question, because crack typically ignores all the standards of fanfiction, being that it's crack. But
yeah,
if you're trying to write a serious fanfiction story, regardless of its genre, the one question you need to answer yourself is, why are you writing this? What is the goal of the story? For example, in Ruby, is the goal of the story to show, oh, what if John wasn't such a pussy-ass bitch and did accept Pyrrha's advances early on? Would things have changed?
The answer to that is unequivocally, of course, yes, but...
So, it's... I mean, it's okay for you to ask the same question as another author. It's okay for both of you to be like, oh, what if Harry discovered magic earlier? You're both gonna have different takes on it, hopefully, at least. Unless you were both, reading each other's notes or something.
As you say, you're most likely to have different takes on it, and that's good. That's...
Yeah, that's exactly what needs to happen. But and this is the thing I mentioned, I don't know, a couple streams ago, I think it was. The other thing I've talked about before is the three aspects of fan fiction, of things you should change, shouldn't change, and what people come to read the story for: the characters, the setting, and the plot. Changing all three, I can't speak for everyone, of course.
You are most likely better off writing your own original fiction at that point, because if you change the characters and the setting and the plot, what's left? If you take Naruto and you make him hyper intelligent, and you set it in the far future in space, and it's not about ninjas doing cool ninja things, well, I don't know what you have, but it's sure not Naruto.
Yeah, and that's a thing I see a lot of people have problems with, in that they're trying to do too much with an already established fiction, which either makes them leave a tons of shit out or ignore a ton of shit. And those three things are what makes a person read a story. Either they're coming for the character, they're coming for the plot, or they're coming for the setting. They either want to... So, take Naruto, for example. They're either coming to read about ninjas doing ninja shit, they're coming to read about Naruto doing something, or they're coming to read about I don't know, the canon plot line of Naruto. Which is when, you know, you get your self-inserts and OCs and whatnot. And, you know, that covers the ninja doing ninja shit, and that covers the main plot line of Naruto. And there's a couple of okay self-insert OCs out there, because you are skipping the main character of Naruto, because the new main character becomes the self-insert OC. And so you're going to lose people who are coming for reading Naruto.
But that's not necessarily a bad thing, because let's be honest, Naruto's a pretty skippable character in and of himself, at least until you get into later seasons.
Yeah, Zeke brings up a good point. A Dead Story by Miranda Flairgold. It's a Harry Potter story called A Second Chance at Life. And they do massive world building, massive everything, the very good characterizations of everyone, builds up a very good backstory and explanations as to why it all happens. It's a Harry Potter story, if I hadn't mentioned that already, but, they are right, though, as later on she did bitch, basically, about, like, oh my god, I should've just made this a fucking original fiction. Because she's right, she changed all 3 points. Now, they were excellently done, and you could still recognize it as Harry in the beginning, you could still recognize it as the Harry Potter world, and you could still recognize it as the Harry Potter plotline. But there was just so much work done into all 3, that it was basically like, why the fuck are you using Harry Potter at this point? It just replace Harry Potter with a new goddamn character and be like, oh, yep, it's original fiction and publish it. I mean, hell, that's what they did with 50 Shades of Grey. Isley says, I realize you're talking about fics in general, and your show does just cover the first couple chapters. That doesn't really let the reason for the fic come out unless it's fully set up early. See Worm for one that spent a good 3 chapters before anything happened. Speaking of self-inserts in Naruto, I managed to find a good one. Ever heard of Catching Your Breath? Yes, I've seen Catching Your Breath before. It's okay, I suppose. But that's a fair point. Sometimes the point of a story doesn't come across in the first couple chapters, but you gotta keep in mind this is fan fiction, not original story. I would read an original story for 4 more chapters if I'm just interested in the setting alone, to see the hook, the plot hook. But that's poor story writing, is one of the points I made before, and I'll make it again. It's poor story writing to not bring people in inside the first chapter. That is one of the reasons why we're only reviewing the first chapter, is because the point of the first chapter is to make people go, I want more of this.
Yeah, and the thing is, while if you have a book that someone has, theoretically at least, they paid money for it, and they're reading your book, they're more likely to spend more time on it because they paid money for that.
Yeah.
They have invested something.
Well, even then, you know, you didn't pay money for Worm, but you still are invested in Worm because you like the setting.
Yeah, I wasn't quite gotten there, but I'm saying, like, someone might be more willing to give, like I was saying, a book they paid money for more time, because they're like, I've spent money on this. I may not be able to get that money back in some cases. So they'd be more willing to give that a try. And in the case of Worm, at this point, it's become a very highly recommended thing. So you'll say, well, X friend recommended it to me, so I'll give it more time. But generally speaking, with some random Harry Potter fiction on the internet, if you haven't really interested me in the first chapter, I'll go look for another one. Because I have, how many options, Sneaky? 6,000?
Oh, fucking millions, basically, at this point. I mean, because you gotta keep in mind, there's fanfiction.net's not the only, Yeah,
but I'm saying, like between the 3 major hubs of fanfiction, I'd say what?
I would say easily a million.
Easily a million, alright. I think you're going a little overboard. But the point does remain. There are thousands upon thousands of stories out there. And maybe someone else has your idea. Or maybe someone's just got a more interesting idea, and I prefer to read that.
So, Chrysanthemum you might have seen their name pop up from time to time in the chat, has so virtuously volunteered us to look at their writings.
Oh, do we actually want to do this?
I mean, they're only 100-word drabbles, supposedly. We got Fire Emblem and Supernatural. Supernatural's with a 100-word drabble. We got 100-word drabbles for Fire Emblem as well. A 2000.
Let's take Fire Emblem and Supernatural because you at least know Supernatural.
Yep. All right. Let's do the Mums Super Collection. So, thing to keep in mind. There are several stages of story. There's drabble, which is quite literally 100 words, period. There's short story, there's short novel, and then there's novel. Each of them require a different length per chapter, each of them require a different level of detail to set up the story, and each of them are different lengths in total. Keep in mind, this is again drabbles. This is a 100-word precise cutoff. You have 100 words to make a story. This is the little daydream ideas, I suppose you could call it. Isley says, if I remember right, aren't there some 500,000 Naruto fics alone? Yeah. There's plenty of fish in the sea.
416,000, not including English. Sorry, including English, it's 416,000. English makes up roughly half of that.
Indeed.
America taking over everything.
The Impala rumbles up the road. In her leather seats, an argument brews and boils over. Sam falls quiet and Dean turns up the radio. Always the same classic songs. The tension between them elongates the night. It's 80 miles to their destination, but the drive feels like millenniums of signposts and rural crossroads stoplights. The town is an oasis of light nestled in the woods that block the stars. They've spent so long in silence, and now there's no time left for words. Dean props the trunk with his sawed-off shotgun. Their armory lies in eager wait. So begins the hunt. Like I said, it's a little daydreamy sort of style.
And this isn't a problem with the author. This is just a problem that I've always had with Dean. Don't do that. Don't prop your fucking trunk open with a sawed-off shotgun. That is so unsafe.
Weapons are not.
I don't care if you've got it loaded with rock salt. It's not safe.
But yeah. So thanks, Chrysanthemum, for being a good sport. Alright.
To be fair, it's pretty hard to mess up 100 words without like butchering your grammar and stuff. I mean,
this is a true fact. This is a very true fact. Let's see if I can't find any XCOM. I don't think I can find any XCOM. I was just gonna do some XCOM in honor of XCOM the Chosen, but it appears we will have none of that. So let's go straight into Natsu and his demon harem.
What?
What? Hold on.
Wait,
Hold
what?
on. I think we may have jumped a track here.
Dean always does that. Oh yeah, no, Chrysanthemum.
We jumped a couple of tracks.
Atin and I watched quite a number of.
I was gonna say, Chrysanthemum, we weren't complaining about you. We were complaining about Dean.
Let's see. Yeah. What the fuck is that face? What the hell is this?
I don't know. You
what is that avatar?
The story so I can get a better view?
Yeah, give us the link, Sneaky, so the rest of us can zoom in on this fine artwork.
God.
They do so much in the show that's just bad firearm handling. I know.
Oh God, I know they do so much in the show that's bad firearm handling.
Well, now I've got a reason to not watch Supernatural then. That shit pisses me off.
The only thing I'll give them credit for is everyone does have excellent trigger discipline, and very rarely do they point a weapon at someone without being willing to pull the trigger.
Yes, this is true.
I think that's Natsu flicking her in the head in the top.
I don't know. That's some what's that phrase?
Like a forehead flick, but that's
what's that phrase for that face that women make when they're the Japanese have a word for it?
Hold on. You mean the T-shirt that I suggested Ricky purchase?
Yes. What's that word? I'm actually blanking out on it. Fuck, whatever. Japanese word for them basically sexing. Anyway, so Isley says, you mentioned XCOM, can't wait for the first trash smut based off of the assassin. That's cute. You think there's only going to be trash smut about the assassin? Get ready for all the gay fic between Commander times the fucking whoever the hell the Warlock, I think it was. Yeah, the Warlock.
Oh no! It's gonna be between him and it's gonna be between him and the Hunter because
the Hunter. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, I was looking for it. The Hunter.
I was just saying the Hunter's voiced by Nolan North. He's the one who's gonna end up with all the smut.
Anyway.
Oh, that's cool.
Natsu and his demonic harem. This is a fairy tale high school D times D crossover. By the third Dragon Neil. So you know it's quality work. It's so I should
we have varying definitions of quality, my boy.
Okay, so I should mention this. This is just a good life skill in general. This has nothing to do with writing. Don't fucking name yourself after your fandom. Yeah, so we will see far larger than D-cups jumping around Devil Spidey. Don't name yourself after a fandom you enjoy, please. It makes you look
like if you want to include like oblique references or something like that, that's okay. It's just when you name yourself after a fandom.
Like I actually can't read stories. Like even if the story could be great, I can't read stories by Jade Scarlet Potter. Because I'll just be like, I feel like there's some bias going on here.
Some bias. Only some.
Ouch, Sneaky, I'm hurt. No, see, you aren't writing fanfiction, so you can get away with it. You're still silly, though.
Who was it who said that? Sorry.
Isley, because all of his names are after various Claymore characters. But no, it's still like the person that names themselves Drizzit. It's just like, please cease. It just hurts. It just hurts to watch people run around with those sorts of names. It reminds me of like my 9-year-old self and my naming schemes back then.
Let's not talk
Point
about
taken.
those.
At the very least, I won't be writing Claymore fanfiction. Indeed. It's one thing if you've written a Harry Potter story and someone named, Dumbledore 5 Ever favorites and follows your story. It's like, okay, well, they clearly enjoy Harry Potter a significant amount. That's one thing, but if it's Dumbledore 5 Ever writing a fanfiction about Dumbledore, it's like, I think there's some bias going on here.
I feel like he might be unfairly biased towards Dumbledore.
Anyway, so Natsu and his demonic harem, set after the events of Tartarus. I don't know anything about Tartarus, but I'm assuming it's going to be a fun read anyway. Natsu is training hard to protect his friends, but when he's sent into a portal by a man in black dragon armor, all hope seems lost. Then he met her. A woman with long crimson hair and demonic wings. Oh boy, how is our favorite dragon slayer gonna handle devils? Maybe like everything else by punching them. Natsu times harem. Here's his harem. Rias, Akeno, and Rainere. To those unfamiliar with the series, Rainere is the first bad guy in the series. Literally, blandest character ever. One-off bad guy.
Right.
Only redeeming point is
angel?
female. Fallen angel. Yeah,
that was the fallen angel in like chapter 1.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, she shows up again in like chapter 20 or whatever to kill one of the main character's friends, but that's just so the main character's friend can be reborn as a devil as well and be, you know, part of his harem. So she is very much bad guy the plot device, and I don't know what this fandom's obsession with her is, because she literally has no background. She has nothing. She is bad guy the plot device, but everyone's like, oh man, I gotta have blank character fucking boinking her.
But she showed up like twice and was killed off the second time around. Wasn't she?
Yeah, no, she was annihilated. Literally, down to the atom. Yeah, the second time she showed up.
But Sneaky, the thing you're not understanding is the thing that all the people who hate Fire Emblem Fates don't understand as to why it's so popular. The answer to that is the Big Titty Committee.
Indeed.
I thought it was because of legitimately good writing and character interaction in Fire Emblem Fates. Is that just me?
I think
I personally disagree. I don't think. I'm not saying there aren't good characters. There are plenty of good characters, but a lot of the plot's pretty weak.
Yeah, maybe eventually I'll get around.
But that's still better than a lot of other video game storylines out there. Like compared to Awakening and older Fire Emblem games, yes, the writing is weak. But considering the bar set by other
has
games,
its own host of issues.
Yes, Atin, but considering the bar set with the other games, from what I understand of their stories, it's okay for them to occasionally be weaker than the normal Fire Emblem story.
Yeah, and for the record, I'm not saying that like, trust me, there are plenty of Fire Emblems out there that are just bad. Like the story, it's like what the hell is going on here?
Isn't that most JRPGs?
I mean, Fire Emblem isn't technically JRPG.
How about just an RPG from Japan? Are we just going to go with that very general context?
Oh, I just said Japan RPG.
Yeah, they don't.
Awakening felt like a dating sim.
No, okay, that was listen, if we're gonna call any of them a dating sim, that was Fates. Fates was the dating sim, yo.
Yeah.
Zeke says, I've read lots of D times DFic, and she's very consistently part of the main cast. Yeah, I know. I also read lots of D times DFic, and it's frustrating. We're not saying
we don't know that she isn't. We're saying we don't know why she is. Like...
Yeah.
Devil Spidey is lost. Yeah, welcome to the wonderful world of fandoms, Devil Spidey. That's what we talk about here on Fanfiction.
I keep wanting to hop back into the anime for Fairy Tail. But then I look at the episode list from where I last was on it, and it's like 150 episodes. This is what it's like for people trying to get into Naruto.
Maybe because there's not lots of fallen angel chicks revealed early. There's Militat, whatever. Calamar and Rainere. There's only like 3 that's revealed early on. In fact, the fallen angels really don't get touched on for quite a while. Besides really
fallen angels. Azazel, Shimazai.
D&D has a few good fics,
like
but
dozen.
By and large, it's a smut magnet. Can't imagine why. Yeah, the unfortunate part of D times D, and what a lot of the authors fall trap to, is they're like, oh man, D times D, I can, write big old harems because harems are canon and exclamation mark. Yeah, there's a reason why D times D isn't really going anywhere, and is only considered, the canon is only considered meh by a majority of the audience. It's very much meh. And the main character very much wields a Deus Ex Machina to win. And
You know,
He doesn't just
every
wield a
10
Deus Ex
was it every
Machina to
10
win.
seconds?
every
Or
10
5?
seconds, their power gets doubled, yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Hooray
just
for...
wield a Deus Ex Machina. He is
Okay,
Deus Ex
yeah,
Machina.
Zeke does bring up a good point as well. Good D times D fics do basically redeem all the bad ones, in terms of the quality level of the good ones. Yes, there are some incredibly good ones out there, and it's just like, wow, I want to search for more. And then you get to searching for more, and you're like, why the fuck did I search for more?
I was gonna say it's like when you read fantastic Warhammer 40k. You're like, I want more Warhammer 40k. And then you're like, this really isn't that good.
Yeah, the world D times D sets up is actually quite good. The main character is fucking the worst part of D times D. Yeah, the whole religions are all real, and they're all mixed up in their own politics, and yeah, no, it's actually fairly interesting and enjoyable to read, as long as you're not, paying attention to anything the main character is doing. Like, apparently, because I didn't get too far into it, apparently, in around the 10th book of the light novel or whatever, the main character actually gets his shit together and stops being a complete fucking Armageddon boobs!
Why'd it take 10 volumes?
I don't know.
Like,
I think that's the most... That is the most off-putting, I guess you could say, of the main character, is that his canon personality is straight up, oh my god, 4 to boobs! For like...
Really?
Yeah, that's
like,
his main driving force behind everything he does for the first 10 volumes.
as opposed to like Bell from Don Machi, who it kind of his grandpa's fault, but he started as an adventurer initially to get himself to pick up girls. But that wasn't his main driving force. That was just something his grandpa did with him, because I'm pretty sure his grandpa's Zeus, based on what they're dropping in the novels. Go figure.
But I mean, that is, in and of itself, not necessarily the worst thing.
No, it's fine if a character's driving force is, I want to get harem, I want to get...
the main problem, though,
I want to get the fairer sex,
Issei, the main character, the main problem, though, in D times D is Issei literally shouts out in, combat, for the boobs!
Yes,
and then, delivers the hero punch to the villain.
That is the problem. His driving force is one specific section of human anatomy. I literally do not understand how he is likable to the females in the cast.
And basically his every interaction with females, a majority of the time, is, oh my god, to boobs!
And
it's just
as far as I read,
yeah,
there's not really much going for it.
Yeah,
outside of fan service. He's got almost no redeeming qualities. As far as I read, at least. Like you said, Sneaky, apparently that did improve.
Yeah.
10 volumes into the light novel.
Yeah, it's just yeah.
I'm not.
Make sure to tell them about the breast reading and the clothing tearing. Yeah, the author decided to run with, oh my god, isn't the MC so hilarious as pervert? To the point where he invented a spell called Dress Break, where he would shoot magic at a girl and it would shred their clothes off.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. I thought Dress Break was a legitimately funny gag. Unfortunately, it was sullied by the person using it. I think that would have been a...
Oh yeah, no, it was a fairly humorous gag, and then they're like, lol, we're gonna go totes serious with this, and then have him randomly strip various women throughout the series for taboobs. Yeah.
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 Like,
The
you know, at least
basically the highest form of sexual assault before it becomes rape, more or less. And it's just like, isn't this so funny, guys? And I'm not one to call shit out like that, like, oh, you shouldn't do that. It's like, but it's not funny. Not many people are gonna find that amusing. Isn't it so funny that the main character goes around stripping women? No.
Yeah, it's really not. Now, isn't it funny that this move occasionally shows up, regardless of if it's a man or a woman they're fighting?
Yes.
Sure, that probably would be hilarious. You have all kinds of visual gags you can take from that.
Oh yeah, no, I actually enjoyed it somewhat when they first used it in combat. He's like, ha, I'll break their dress and be like, lol, you don't have clothes anymore. And the villain was like, oh shit, what the fuck?
What the hell did I come back to?
Oh,
you weren't here for that? Yeah, so basically MC invented a power that strips women, and men, I guess, technically, of their clothing.
I'm pretty sure he only uses it on women.
Yeah, but he really only, I don't know about later chapters, but he only uses it purposely on women.
I wouldn't be surprised if it only works on women, to be honest.
I wouldn't be surprised either.
Okay.
But yeah, no, because like the joke was originally like, lol, the main character is so shit at magic, he has to think of something that really motivates him. And he's like, oh well, boobs! And stripping for more boobs! Boom, new spell, it strips women of their clothes! Ah, it's fucking hilarious. Anyway.
According to the wiki, it does, from the way the wiki's wording it, it does appear to only work against females.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course it only works.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I was gonna say, it's as bad as Konosuba and the panty stealing.
Yeah. So, let's just rock and roll it. Let's get into it. Before anyone goes on a rant about how much of an idiot I am for writing a 12th story. Okay, yeah. I guess I'll have to say something.
Oh yeah, I think I got like 14.
Don't take on more stories.
Yeah, 14.
Then
stories.
like, don't take on more than a couple stories. Like fucking hell, there's a guy, Coral Alaran. He has got like 4 to 5 stories going on right now at the same time, and he's getting paid more or less to do that. And that's his limit. Like, the guy is getting paid several thousands of dollars to have the time to sit down and pump out around an 8K chapter 5 times a week.
Oh, he does 5? Oh, wow.
Yes, it is 5 times a week, yes. No.
So,
I think it's 4. No, it is 5. Damn, it is 5
And this guy, Cool Alaran, is a professional editor for, like, what is it? He was in the industry for, like, 15 years or something for a magazine?
He's still in it. I
know, so but he's been in it for, like, 15 years or whatever?
Yeah, and it shows, by the way, in his writing
style. Yeah. He's been in it for the double digits. So he's got massive levels of experience. He's got plenty of fucking money. And his maximum is 5 stories. Don't take on 12. Don't write.
I'm sorry, but
6 at the moment.
You are.
Well, one of them's a co-op.
He's rotating them.
Yeah.
No, he's taking 2 of the stories and rotating them.
Yeah, one of them's a co-op.
So we're back to the original days, but with far more stories to fill up the time in between. Because when I found him when he was first starting out.
Yeah.
He would rotate. He had 3 stories going, 2 of which were rotating each week.
Yeah.
Those stories were on 1 week apiece.
Yeah, like, this guy has massive experience and money, and his maximum cap is juggling 5 stories. If this man with so much money and experience can only juggle 5 stories, you can't juggle 12, you can't juggle 8, hell, you probably can't even juggle 3 without burning yourself out. So don't.
Yeah.
if you really gotta write something, do what I've seen other authors do. Write like the first 1,000 words. Maybe post it into a special section of the, you know, X over section or whatever. And that's just where you post your 1,000 word ideas for new stories. Come back to it later. If you're really passionate about it, start outlining it. But don't pick up another story to write. It's going to not be beneficial to you.
Yeah.
Because eventually what you're going to end up doing is either you're going to burn yourself out, or you're going to end up dropping your older stories. Because you're going to lose interest in them because you spend so much time on the other ones. Yeah, to be fair, Core is good at writing stories. Wildbone Core, yeah. Like I said, with a man that much experience can only handle 5 stories. You really shouldn't be doing more than him. But yeah, no, this isn't like me criticizing people. This isn't me, you know, like, oh, you should do this stuff. This is me trying to help you, people, as writers in general. Don't take on that many stories. Don't add that much stress to yourself. You know, focus on what you have right now. If you're losing the steam for a story, put it on hiatus. Stop, you know, forcing yourself to write for it. Write down ideas occasionally if you can for the story and come back to it eventually, but don't take on more stories because eventually that hiatus story will become the abandoned story.
Yeah.
Anyway. I couldn't help but write this as there are rarely stories involving Natsu and Rias and company. I wonder why. There are, but only a few. The reason I decided to write this is because I'm watching High School D times D along with all the fanfictions I read, so I thought I would give it a try.
There are 97 of these fanfictions in question, apparently.
How many stories did this guy said he was writing? He said he was writing 12. So, yeah.
Yep.
He's like, I'm writing 12 stories, but don't worry, guys.
I'm gonna take a wild guess and say none of them are over... Oh, wow, yeah, that one's actually quite long. Interestingly enough... his oldest story was 2016. He seems to be keeping up on all of them, which is actually fairly impressive, and they're all of substantial length.
You say, and again, we're not saying that it can't be done.
Yeah, I'm just saying as a general rule, not everyone's gonna be master juggler. Though it does seem that he is intelligently doing it. None of his stories are really crossing over in either idea or... I mean, yes, a majority of them are fairy tale, but it seems that he's very passionate about fairy tale. So that's certainly an aspect he can bounce off of. But a majority of these stories don't even seem to be even remotely crossing over in terms of ideas or, plot. So yeah. He's certainly going to be able to easily separate them. I've seen people only of the Ruby. They only write Ruby stories. They're like, oh, this is my 7th story I'm writing. I don't know why I keep doing this, haha. You're gonna burn yourself out trying to remember what happened in which story. At my worst, I was writing 3 and I dropped that because I was stressing myself into an early grave. Yeah, I mean, you gotta keep in mind, this guy's been writing since 2016. And there's not that many chapters in each story. It looks like the chapters are very long in each story. So you could put out a couple chapters of each story every month. Like I said, they're fairly different, so he wouldn't burn himself out too quickly. But at the end of the day, I don't think he's going to be able to keep on this for too much longer. And if we're wrong,
more power to him.
Oh yeah, if we're wrong, that's great, but it's just, I've seen this pattern hundreds of times before. Okay, so anyway, so this is AU. I'm adding my own original lore to the series. No Issei fans will be here. Natsu gets drag because he's part dragon, so it only makes sense he gets the dragon sacred gear.
I'm pretty sure the dragons.
And that's not how that works, but whatever. If you guys have a concept for a story, please tell me whether in the comments to just message me, since, like I said, I'm barely watching the series as cringy as it is. And this will take place at the end of the Tartaros arc. They actually said Tartaros, by the way. High school D times D at the beginning. So Natsu get used to it. He'll have a harem in both his world and D times D expect many lemons. Oh boy. Alright, as a heads up, as always, I will not be featuring any lemons. If we do hit a lemon point, we're either going to be skipping past it or ending the story there. Yeah, Natsu being part dragon is not strictly correct. I mean, I only... this is where Max and Atin, I also believe, stopped. We all stopped around the same point at the grand competition or whatever, the grand mage competition.
I went a bit past, just a little bit past the grand magic games, yeah.
Yeah, the grand tournament is where we all roughly stopped. Isley says, let's see, my defense.
Yeah, I accidentally just spoiled myself on some stuff on the wiki.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently Dragon Slayers, if they overuse their magic, they could turn into dragons.
That's pretty awesome.
Well, not really. It appears they appear to go mad and crazy.
Well, I mean, is it recoverable though?
Well, you guys remember the big bad dragon Agnologia?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that used to be a dragon slayer.
Of course. So what I'm getting from the description is that Natsu is going to have a dragon inside him the whole time. They did mention lemons. Yeah, Isley. I don't think that's exactly what they had in mind, though.
God, I really hope that's not what they had in mind. Wow, Agnologi looks like an asshole in his human form. That is such a punchable face.
Yeah. The only problem I have with Fairy Tail in general is it doesn't make... I've seen Naruto cross into Fairy Tail quite well because of the whole theme idea of, you know, friendship and whatnot wins the day. But Fairy Tail itself doesn't make for very good fanfiction material. Mostly because the characters do only really win against all odds because the power of friendship and protecting my nekama.
That hurt me the way you said that. That actually hurt.
Natsu's situation really like Issei is more than the author realizes. Yeah. Fairy Tail is trash. It is very much...
No.
No, it honestly is.
I mean, it depends on if it's your cup of tea or not. Like, I fully admit, I enjoy it, but it's because it's got some amazing fight scenes.
I'm not saying Fairy Tail isn't enjoyable, I'm just saying it's trash. It's just like Sao is enjoyable, it's still garbage. It's enjoyable to watch, though.
No. The Sao anime is garbage.
Okay, yes, the Sao anime is garbage. God, it has fantastic fight scenes, though. The anime is absolute garbage.
Yeah, like, I hopped back into the light novels because Amazon put them on digital, and I'm still fucking pissed off about that. But,
yeah.
By the way, Sneaky, you were wrong. You started adding your own personal headcanon into lore again. The author never made Kirito a female avatar. In fact, it's explained that that's forbidden because it ends up in body dysmorphia issues that affect the people in the real world.
In GGO,
and Gun Girl. No, there's two character models, male and female, that look similar, that are meant to be sort of androgynous in appearance.
Well, no, see, I had never read the light novels beyond, like, the first one. I never got
why
to...
did you keep spouting that he made him an actual
Because
female?
one of my friends who introduced me to Sal, who had read all the light novels supposedly, said that they did.
Yeah, but why would you listen to your friend? That's like the dumbass who killed Oscar because his friend told him Oscar was going to commit suicide anyways.
Because this was the hyper anime nerd, and I was like, well, he's not gonna lie about anime.
And then he lied about anime.
I bet he's one of those people who cried when it turned out that the fourth Hokage's name was Minato and not Kurama.
Fairy Tail is enjoyable trash, like the ending of School Days.
That was the thing.
Jesus Christ, honestly.
Wow. Wow.
Oh boy, some fucking shades being thrown here. Christ.
Okay, wow. Can we just say, by the way, just want to bring this up real quick. Dragon Slayers are complete and utter bullshit. Like, Natsu has proven, as have I think.
Yes, Stun Lancer. You
what's the Lightning Dragon Slayer's name? It's Laxus. As they've proven, if you can stomach it, if you can just eat the element regardless of how strong it is, you can theoretically eat any element if you can stomach the agonizing pain long enough for your body to adjust. Making Dragon Slayer is probably the most powerful thing in that universe.
Yeah, no, that is the one thing I really...
Natsu, so they're not going to do it.
That's the one thing I really didn't like about Fairy Tail, especially with Natsu, when it came to Natsu. Every arc always ended
with Natsu eating
everything not mattering in the slightest, because it would always come down, like, no matter what the side cast did, the main villain of the arc would be like, lol, I planned for this the whole time, they were just a distraction, all according to Kikaku. And, would do something and would basically make everything the side characters did completely useless. And it would come down to a fight between the main between Natsu and the main side villain of this arc, and it would always be like Natsu's beating them up, and then they unveil their true power, and Natsu can't fight them anymore, but he's got to because his Nakama.
Yeah.
His Nakama feed him some new flame or something, and he gets a new temporary power up, a la Naruto filler arcs. And he beats the villain with this temporary power-up.
That is not... Actually, that's not how every arc... Sneaky...
It's how most of the arcs go.
It's how most of the arcs
go. It's how, 40% of them went, but not most of them.
No, the slavery arc, that's how that ended. It's how
with Jalal, by the way, that was the arc that stuck around best. I think that one was the best done out of the arcs we've gotten.
Let's Sneaky Speak is inspired today. Yeah, I've been watching some Bernie Sanders, so I'm getting really into the ranty, preachy mode.
Although I still gotta say, I don't know why, I love how the Jalal arc ended. It's like, you can't eat that. I'm gonna eat it. You really shouldn't eat that.
That's what I'm saying, though. That's basically how all the arcs go. Like, oh, the Laxus arc. Oh, he's eating lightning, and now he has lightning fire fists. Oh, the versus Godslayer arc. Oh, you can't eat the God-slaying flame. Bullshit, I can. Oh, now he has God-slaying, dragon-slaying fire punch.
Yeah. And all it took was him going through agonizing pain and not puking his everything back out. Stomach and intestines included.
It's like, okay, yes, he's going through Herculean effort each time, but at the end of the day, every single fucking arc is concluded by Natsu eats something he shouldn't be able to eat and gains power-up temporarily to fight bad guys.
Except that most of the arcs aren't resolved by that. In fact, most of the arcs, that happens in the middle of them, not as a resolution, just in the middle.
It's
Unless
the
you
climax.
want to count
I should reiterate that. Climax. The climax of each arc is.
All right, I
him
can accept
eating.
that because I only remember like 3 of the arcs.
You forgot to mention the increasingly ridiculous attack
7?
names. Yes.
Turns
Turns out the first and third gen Dragon Slayers are 400 years from the future. Oh. Oh yeah, right. Apparently that was a thing as well.
I have.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah.
There
problems.
was time travel shenanigans involved. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where it gets a bit odd.
And fairy tales. Fairy Tail has a similar problem of power scaling. And they try to solve it the Pokemon way too, because at the end of every arc, most of the power-ups that the characters get, they somehow lose at the start of the next arc.
Yeah.
Or, especially in Natsu's case, oh, he's eating raw magic! Well, he can never do that outside of this specific scenario. Oh, he's eating God Flame! He can't do that outside of this specific scenario. Oh, he's eating light-dark magic reversal! He can't do that out of this specific scenario.
Well, see, Sneaky, one of the things you gotta keep in mind with that, by the way, is...
Good night, Zeeks.
I don't think Natsu's the one who ever tells us that. I think it's other people saying they can't do this because it's one of those, it's never been done. And all I can do is sit here and think, so when are we going to start shoving random elements down Gajeel and Wendy's throats so that we can even this out?
Samus.
Oh.
Okay, whoa.
Not wrong, but oh boy.
Oh yeah, no. It is a very much a problem. This is why I'm saying that Fairy Tail, it's in of itself doesn't make a good crossover into other things. It's got very little basis for proper power growth. It's got very little basis for proper scaling when it comes to villains, and And then it's got so much fucking time travel shenanigans going on, and where the Dragon Slayers are 400 years from the past or the future or whatever, and there's an alternate dimension where the cats are sentient and they're sending eggs into the present's past.
That's not time travel. That's
dimension. First of all, that's dimension.
Yeah, that's a dimensional arc, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but still, it's just like, there's so much time-space shenanigans going on that it's just like, trying to unravel the plot is like a goddamn Gordian knot.
You mean it's like trying to understand Kingdom Hearts plot?
Kingdom Hearts' plot?
You know, I think the best part about this is Sneaky's talking about how this is a Gordian knot, and I'm just like, I'm sitting here as a Blaze Blue fan. I don't want to hear it.
Okay, you know, look at this way. Blaze Blue is Blaze Blue is an interdimensional 7D Gordian knot.
I was say, and then you've got Kingdom Hearts, which is like 2 steps down. It's like 2 steps down. It's like a 5D Gordian knot.
Speaking of Fairy Tail, have you guys encountered edgy fan fictions for it? Ideally Warhammer 40k or something other ridiculously hard to fit together. Well, see, that's the thing, is I typically don't go into Fairy Tail because I just find it ridiculously unlikable, and the stories that are typically in the section are not to my taste. So more often than not, the only time I ever encounter Fairy Tail stories are because I'm in a different section and it's crossing over into Fairy Tail.
There are currently 7 fics for Warhammer, and
as for edginess, yeah, no, they're quite edgy. I've seen quite a number of the Naruto ones that actually went more than like 10,000 words. A lot of those are edgy. Edgy as hell. It's like, oh, it's a grizzled Naruto and he's teleported into the Fairy Tail world. And he's secretly pretending to be a normal person, but he's also an assassin and he's killing all of Fairy Tail's enemies. Yeah, no, they're very...
But why, though?
Because he's an assassin and that's how you solve problems as ninja.
There are a couple of these that, based on their summary, scream edgelord to me for these crossovers.
I managed to find a fanfiction crossover that don't fit together, like Warhammer Teletubbies. Oh yes, I've seen actually several where Naruto trains Mr. Gon.
I think I remember one of those you and I actually tried looking at, and it was horrifying.
It was okay. From what I remember, if we're thinking about the same one, it was okay. It was just like really, Naruto was the mastermind behind everything.
I think one of the better ones we ran into was Naruto was Mr. Gon.
Yes, Naruto was pretending to be Mr. Gon. Or, well, yeah, Naruto's pretending was Mr. Gon, but at the same time, Mr. Gon also existed. He just wasn't the public face of Mr. Gon.
I don't remember. All I remember was the first chapter was better than the other shit you kept throwing at me that night.
Yes, that is indeed a high chance. So anyway, we've dilly-dallied long enough. We've talked about our likes and dislike of Fairy Tail in of itself long enough. So let's get straight into the story, and then I'll execute ourselves. Let's go. Demons, dragons, these are legends that spread throughout worlds and dimensions. Only two worlds have both myths, and soon they will meet through a certain pink-haired fool. Fior, year X791. Mr. Gon, isn't that the guy from Hunter x Hunter? Fire Dragon Iron Fist! In a simple forest on the outskirts of Crocus, the largest city in all of Fior, several trees were suddenly knocked down by a powerful force. The person who destroyed them was a male with... Why are you describing Natsu? If someone's reading a fairy tale fic, I fucking really hope they know who Natsu is.
Maybe this is for the XD fans. I don't know.
The XD fans are more concerned with Issei getting more harems.
You're not wrong.
Let's see. Muscular figure, black eyes, and for some reason, pink hair, though he usually calls it salmon.
I'm sorry, what did you just say?
Salmon.
Salmon. It's salmon. Ignore Sneaky. He doesn't know how to English.
You guys just don't know how to say shit. His attire consisted of one sleeve,
you know how to say shit. English
black
just
coat
can't
with
make
gold trimmings, white baggy shorts, black open-toed sandals, and white scaly-looking scarf wrapped securely around his neck. His left arm was covered by the sleeve, while his right one was exposed to the world and had a red insignia of a fairy. This man was Natsu Dragoneel, the salamander of Fior's #1 guild, capitalized guild, Fairy Tail. Ooh, what is this? Hi, fucking, I am not even gonna try and pronounce your name.
Boy.
Yo, what do we got? What?
Friendly there.
Jesus Christ, how do I even start with that? Kugel. You're now named as Kugel.
Yeah.
Hi, Kugel. Yeah, this is, Fairy Tail, High School D times D crossover. This is Fanfiction Contempt. Fuck off! Contempt Theater.
You just said Salmon! I will continue to mock you.
Has Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer written this? No, surprisingly, he has blocked me. And if you know Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer, you will not be surprised that he has blocked me. Boy, that guy can't take criticism.
Okay, to be fair, when you give criticism...
No, I legitimately sent him a review saying, hey man, you missed grammar here, here, and here, and these words are misspelled. And he said, fuck you, and blocked me.
Well then.
It wasn't even like I was flaming him. He just fucking doesn't take anything but positive reviews.
64 stories. He has a Patreon, apparently.
Yes, he's got a Patreon. Yeah. All of his stories are invariably some form of Naruto is massive in both power and dick size, and goes into world and does blank thing, and everyone is wow amazed.
Maybe a little bit of compensation there. What do you think?
Yeah, well, considering his reaction to genuine actual criticism, yeah. Patreon for fanfic. No, there are a couple authors, Chrysanthemum, that have a Patreon for fanfictions. Yeah.
How? He has 17 patrons. How?
Yeah, wow. Jesus. You know what shit
I should
he
not
did with
be
his
as
chapter?
upset about this as I am. He's only got
I don't follow
reward. That's it. I think.
I don't follow Fairy Tale Dragon Slayer.
Probably for the best. You'd probably get yourself thrown off.
You can pay to play with me. I will Twitch.
What?
Fairy Tale Dragon Slayer, apparently in one of his latest chapters, said that people can pay him to play with them on Twitch. Jesus fucking Christ.
Wait, Sneaky.
No?
He's blocked you.
Yes, he has blocked me.
You should pay him to play with you on Twitch and just spend the entire time insulting his work.
Considering the fact that it's not an actual business transaction, I'm pretty sure he would just take my money and then laugh. That was the chapter?
No. Actually, here's the thing, Sneaky. If he's offering the service, you pay him and he plays games with you.
No. See, that's the thing, though, is there is no receipt, there is no business transaction there.
Yes, there is.
No, there isn't.
He has established a contract.
No, he hasn't. There is no contract. It's just you don't understand that. He's just saying, "Hey, pay me."
Sneaky, the court of law recognizes contracts that are not on paper. Verbal contracts are legally binding if you have proof of them. And this is a contract that's on. Like, if you pay him the specified amount, and he does not deliver...
Alright. But no, back to my original point is, there are some authors out there that I know two authors I follow. Cor Alaran and, I forget the other guy's name. That do Patreons for their fanfiction, but it's not, hey, pay me for fanfiction. Both of them do, hey, the more money I have, the more time I can take off work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and they're both very high quality, basically original fiction level. So I don't have too much of a problem. It's basically like buying a book for me. Because, I mean, it's 5 different... Core does 5 different stories, around 8K chapter length for each of those stories every week. So that's, what, around 40K words per week? That's around 120, 160K words per week, per month.
Yeah, the chapters can be anywhere from 4K to 10K on a really good day.
Ryuki doesn't have a Patreon.
I think he capped it like 13K for a chapter at one point.
Yeah, no, it is certainly novel length per month. So you are, if you donate to his Patreon, you're getting basically a book and a half every month for whatever your donation level is. And all things considered, that's pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Assuming
his Ruby Gamer fic is a class apart. Is that the his Ruby Gamer fic? Is that the Is that the John one? Work with me here, people.
I don't know.
Ryugi. Is that the Games We Play one?
The Games We Play, yes. I'm pretty sure that's the Games We Play, right?
That one's hard to get into once you get
the
past
Games We Play.
30.
Yeah, no, I didn't like the Games We Play. I personally prefer the Dark Game of Life. That one is really good. Also doesn't have a Patreon.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. There is certain situations where I'll be like, okay, this is okay for an author to be putting out, the fan fiction in exchange for money. Core Aileron and those people on that level of quality and content is one of those. Because again, it is more or less basically original fiction at this point. Let's see. Isley's been saying stuff for a while. That reminds me, I checked, and yes, I have indeed read Fairy Tail Dragon Slayer stories before. I was right, they're absolute shit and want to forget them. It reminds me I need to start rereading White Sheep and Not This Time Fate before the new content buries me again. Not This Time Fate is in fact completed now. I encourage everyone to go read it. It is a completed story. It's very good. If you're ready for it. If that's up your alley, I suppose.
I was about to say, what on earth does that mean, boy?
I mean, no, so some people had problems with it, because of how he was taking it in certain areas, but I guess he was doing it purposely because of how it ended, but, yeah. I mean, I hit 2K follows on one of my fics. I thought I would start a Patreon, but when I objectively thought about how much I was writing, it wasn't enough to ask for actual money. Yeah. One of the people I follow who has a Patreon puts out 20 to 60k words a month, and he does that still for free. Paying him on Patreon just gives you the option of telling him which one of his 7 stories you want him to vote. You vote on him working on next. But yeah, it's 20 to 60k words. Each time he updates per month. And Cool Aileron is, like I said, 160k words per month. So it is certainly it's certainly worth the money that you may be sending them. Yeah, so basically 1 chapter a month. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's certainly not pay me tons level of you could get away with it. But yeah, no, sure, Kugel, just send me a link to your what do you call it? Fanfiction.net account, and I'll probably shit on it at some point, either in this stream or in the next one.
We can say it'll probably be the next one, because,
I say shit on it because I'm probably going to find problems with it regardless.
We're not inherently assuming your work is garbage. Well,
yes.
I mean, Sneaky might be.
I just hate everyone, so, I found authors I'd be willing to donate to. Both put out novel-length work per month. Wild Bow is an interesting case, because if you've read his other works, you're like, Wild Bow, what the fuck you doing? Because he wanted to do non-Worm stuff after he finished Worm, which is fair enough. Worm's about 1 million words long-ish, right? And that's around... Fucking Christ, that's around 11-ish novels. No, I can see the link just fine. Don't worry.
We can see links. No one else can, but
I have disabled links in general, so I can see the links, but other people won't be able to.
Because we don't trust any of you.
Indeed.
And that's it.
Anyway, so let's wrap up what's no doubt going to be a trash fire. Hit up Cruel Ruin, or Kurgle as he's known on Twitch, and probably call it a day. Oh, is Devil Spidey feeling sad? I don't trust myself as well. Oh, poor Devil Spidey. Worm is 1.6 million words, so that's about 26 novels. I usually give the overestimate of around 90k words per novel. So I mean that would still put it at around, like, fucking Christ, that still would put it around 16 to 18 novels, I would say.
Yeah.
So I mean that's nothing to scoff at. I mean, fucking the longest series that I've seen outside of Worm in terms of books is Legends of Drizzt.
Oh, Drizzt.
Yeah.
Drizzt's long.
Drizzt. Yeah, industry length is 80 to 100k. If you're going for publication and print, yeah. Yeah, he straight up wrote 16 novels for free. Yeah, yeah. Like I said, his other work though is not exactly drawing, I suppose you could say. I mean, don't get me wrong. His other work has interesting ideas. They're just like not. They don't have that hook that Worm did. They're just like, I'm a tortured author kind of plot.
Kind of surprised we're actually still on this subject.
What, Worm?
No, just like length of chapters and whatnot.
We do things other than yell angrily.
Yeah, I mean, you know, gotta take a break from the angry yelling sometimes, you know.
Oh, I know you guys do that. I'm just used to you angrily yelling more often than not.
Loud noises!
Yeah,
Anyway.
like that.
Oh, yes, the Horus Heresy series. Yeah, that was pretty long.
Oh, Lordy Horus Heresy. Of course, I mean, then there's the Yuzon Vong series. Yuzon Vong is like 20 books.
Yeah, no, the Drizzt series is around, was it fucking hell, 45 books long now? Something like that.
Well, I mean, there's the Drizzt.
Google says I've read everything on the page, and I feel like I need to kill myself.
That's how you should feel. That's a sign that you're
Sneaky,
feeling
I have a
alive.
request from Chapter 1. I wanted you to check. I can't ask the second one. I might go overboard with the scene. Yeah, we'll check your shit, Devil Spidey. Maybe Friday.
Yeah.
So yeah, just in the meantime, link it in the Discord or something.
I'm gonna miss it. Dang.
Oh yeah, while everyone's still here and has yet to lose interest, we have a Discord if you haven't noticed in the panels down below.
We don't suggest you show up.
I mean, you can show up if you want. I'll probably answer any questions you have, and we have multiple different chats, everything from shitpost to general, and you know, your regular Discord shit. Got no bots yet, because I'm a fucking lazy asshole and don't feel like programming them yet. But yeah.
There are a number of ones you can download.
No problem, Chrysanthem. Maybe the 5 people I've brought to your story shall spread the word of your great works.
You know, there's a bot I installed on another server because it actually has log functionality for more than just admins and moderators.
Hey, don't worry, Devil Spidey. We're also trying to be original authors. It's just we're very bad at being authors. We've been doing everything but authoring.
To be fair, if we ever get around to writing our idea,
the world might have already ended. Indeed. Isley says, reminds me I want to thank you both and lambaste you, especially you, Sneaky, due to Worm taking up a vast majority of my free time for the past 2 weeks. I'm only on Arc 11.
How many arcs were there again?
Oh, holy shit.
30,
quite a few.
No, was it like 40?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like 40 for the main, and then a bunch of like extra
yeah, the little interludes in between each.
Yeah. And the
don't worry,
epilogues.
Devil Spidey. Everyone's got some dank childhood stories.
I don't have any dank childhood. Well, I mean, I guess there was the time. No, I'm not supposed to talk about that. That's what the court said.
Dark childhoods are good fiction, feel. Yeah. Alright, let's rock and roll. Okay, blah blah blah. Blah blah blah, describing Natsu. How many fucking periods is that? Okay, reminder folks, ellipses, 3 periods, you don't need more. Because then it just starts looking weird. Or at least was a member. Not bad, but not good enough. Natsu muttered to himself while wiping the sweat off his brow. It has been a full 3 days since the battle with the Dark Guild Tartarus was over. 3 days since his guild was disbanded. 3 days since Igneel died!
What?
The fuck did I miss?
Hang on. Hang on a second. That's...
Alright, Max, so you are a resident lore expert. Can you give us a brief summary of the Tartarus arc?
I don't remember that. I don't remember that. I could be wrong, but I do not remember that.
Wait, when is the Tartarus arc? Tartarus arc is... Oh, after the Grand Magic Games arc. Okay, that explains it. Oh, no, Igneel does die at the end of that arc. Oh. Okay, just drop those spoilers on us. Okay.
You want to share with the class?
Not really, no.
Share with the class, Max. None of us here can.
Did Fairy Tail disband in this arc? Or did he just make that up?
Shit, I don't know.
No. Guys, come on. Okay, this is ridiculous. All right.
Chrysanthemum says they totally disbanded. The Tartarus arc was one where demons and the magical council being destroyed. Fucking Christ! I'm glad I got out of Fairy Tail when I did then.
Boy, we left at the right time.
Apparently. Alright, let's see what we got here. Let's see. Igneel, edginess, large dragon, scales, engaged in aerial battle fighting a blue dragon, glared at his opponent, in his life, but I can at least injure him. Igneel charged toward Magigla, who did the same. Time slowed down, they die. Pure horror, Igneel was ripped apart. Blah blah blah, critical injury, ripping off Agnacocklalaw's arm.
God damn it, Sneaky. You could have saved the day. Instead, you let civilians get grenaded.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes there's acceptable casualties.
Okay, Cyanide.
To make a long story short, the Tartarus arc was a grim getting serious arc, like Extinction arc and Worm. Oh, okay. I support the petition to call Agnacocklalaw's McDragonface, and I will do so from now on. Fairy Tail killed Shonen for me. That's a fair statement. I would have thought One Piece would. Just saying. I'm gonna throw some shade right now. Fuck One Piece. It's gone for too long.
Too long.
I've supposedly heard from the fans that it's actually getting back on track now in actually finding the One Piece or whatever to becoming king. But that only took what, 900 episodes?
I feel like any shonen anime that would have been considered one of the top 3 for its given era probably should have killed shonen for most people.
Yeah, no. Yeah, that is actually pretty funny. The top 3 shonen, Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece. And, hell, even the number 4 or number 5, I guess, or whatever, or wherever Fairy Tail takes place, really did kill shonen. They kind of murdered the living fuck out of the shonen genre. because they don't know how to power scale. None of them.
Like,
I'm avoiding One Piece due to the sheer episode count. Yeah, pretty much it's a good idea to avoid One Piece if you haven't started watching it, because it's mostly trash in which they don't actually ever go towards the main plot point until like several hundred episodes in, when they start finally working on the main plot.
yeah, I just stick to the manga.
I can live with Naruto because the way it works out in other worlds. Yeah, no. I really disliked the ending of Naruto, but other than the ending of Naruto, I enjoyed Naruto.
Which ending, by the way?
The part where he takes out a DNA sword, and then they have tug-of-war of the souls using actual rope.
Okay.
And then they fight the moon goddess.
From that, from that part.
Everything from that point on, yeah.
The moon god, here's the thing.
And we also can't forget Mecha Kyuubi 9000 Samurai mode.
Except that mode was actually really cool, and it looks so much better now that they've apparently refined it in the Boruto era. But like, here's the thing. Sneaky, don't forget though, like, we did have a conversation. All that stuff would have been fine if Kishimoto had been allowed to actually explain it instead of having to shove it in our face over the next 2 months.
Oh no doubt. Naruto would have been far better.
You could see the point where it's like, okay, Kishimoto, yeah,
Gundam Caillou boy. Yes, basically.
All right, yeah.
No. I definitely agree. It's just the rushed nature of the Gundam is still a thing. Devil's Spidey.
Yeah, like some of the filler arcs that the anime had,
pretty good.
Actually seemed like they were good fill-ins for trying to explain some of the things happening in the end of the manga. Like, we had, I think, 2 episodes dedicated to when Kaguya crash landed on Earth.
Yeah,
explaining part of her reasoning.
Worm is in fact superior to One Piece. So if you have a free time to watch One Piece, don't read Worm.
Yeah, or you could read the One Piece manga. That'll go significantly faster.
IBO was good. IBO. Oh, Iron Blood. We want to be Game of Thrones. Oh God.
Did everyone die? Was this an Akame ga kill
scenario? Do not see the Death Note Netflix movie. Yeah, no, I don't know why anyone would. Death Note was like edgy trash before edgy trash was a mainstream thing.
Alright, hold on. It wasn't edgy trash.
I'm gonna save the world by doing what no one else will. I'll kill all the criminals.
But that wasn't the point of it. That wasn't the point of the show. Like...
I read the entirety of Death Note. Yeah, Netflix was yeah, it's absolute trash. No, they try to do too many M. Night Shyamalan twists for me at the end. And people say it was bad after L died. I say it was trash to start with. Yeah, that's what I say as well. But back to what I was saying. What was I saying earlier? Oh yeah, yeah. Kugel made a good point. Naruto is very nice to read in terms of fan fiction because yes, Naruto is extremely malleable. Because of both how early the story starts, how vague his backstory really is, and how he does in fact show intelligence and growth, at least early on in the story. So yes, you can go actually a lot of directions with Naruto. Properly.
Yeah. Well, you can do the same with Fairy Tail, but the issue is you can only do it up to, I think, the 2nd arc. After that, it becomes significantly harder.
God.
Well, no, so the problem with Fairy Tail is that they quite thoroughly make it so it's like Natsu has a long history of being an absolute dumbass that destroys everything, so you really can't do much with him where he suddenly, unless you have like a near-death experience and you're like, oh, because of his near-death experience, Natsu suddenly stops being a fucking retard.
That's not gonna
Well,
happen.
I don't know. I think you.
Ah, shit, I just made myself blind.
Good job.
If I hold my eyes in a certain way, I lose vision.
Stop doing that.
Don't do that then?
Do I need to call 911 for you?
No. Oh, yeah, Kugel, you missed it earlier. I went on a fucking large-ass rant about Fairy Tail and Monogamy.
Hey,
I could probably run a YouTube channel about anime and just rant about it being awful.
But should you?
Should I? No. Will I if enough people say do it? Probably.
We need to set aside a time for us to watch the next part for the anime contempt stuff, by the way.
The assassin just got wasted by the resistance Haven members.
Oh, wow. 10 out of 10.
Dick.
Professional assassin gets killed by resistance rebels. GG.
No, not even the rep. It's like the people that I didn't recruit, the ones who stay at the Haven.
Oh, God. Wow. 10 out of 10.
He's not very good at his job, is he?
And no, she's not.
I've seen good fan fictions where characters are almost completely different at the end than the beginning. See Professor Arc, but most fics just change the personality at the very beginning. Yep. This is something I actually say very often. If you're going to write a change into the story, you need to give a reason. There needs to be a reason why Naruto suddenly gets serious for training. He just doesn't, like, don't just be like, oh, oh, I'm a ninja now, I should get serious about training, because that's not how Naruto thinks. Like, make him encounter, I've seen it done, like, oh, he encounters Danzo, and they have a conversation, and Naruto sits down and thinks, he's like, oh, yes, I should get serious about my training, I'm a ninja now. You know, like, I've seen it done excellently before with, like, minimal personality change required.
Yeah.
You know, the key part is you need to give reasons as to why canon isn't going the way canon's going. And this is one of the biggest problems I see with authors in fanfiction, especially in the Naruto and Harry Potter sections, where they're just like, Naruto / Harry Potter are dark now because, oh, they were abused and shit. It's like, okay, yeah, but why the fuck were they abused? Like, literally nothing... Literally nothing, you know, lends credence towards them being abused in the way that you're describing them being abused. And various shit like that. Fanfiction Naruto fandoms are next level stuff sometimes. Yeah, well, they are. I've seen some actually incredibly mind-blowingly well-written.
We're not saying they can't be.
It's just really hard to find them.
Naruto is child-friendly on occasions. I would say Orochimaru is more child-friendly, but that's just because he's got a dog he needs help looking for in his van.
Please don't
that has
say
free candy.
words.
I legitimately feel bad for Orochimaru that, like, that is the reputation that will forever stick with that man.
I've had someone drop my fic because Naruto doesn't say Dada Pow enough.
Wow.
Yeah, no, the Naruto fandom has got some interesting ideas on what makes an enjoyable Naruto fic.
You know, that's still the best part about the Boruto timeline right now is Orochimaru's allowed to just walk around the village with Yamato as a shadow guard.
Good.
I'm sorry, you what?
Yeah, apparently Orochimaru got pardoned.
Snake Man was rehabilitated, was he?
Apparently.
Kind of, actually. He appears he's on the kind of terms where it's like, listen, I won't do illegal shit, and you don't take my life for like the third time, because dying sucks.
Let's see, Devil Spite says sometimes they can be interestingly good, sometimes they're really bad. Isley says, I think the problem with automatic changes is that they are different at the very beginning. If they changed over time due to ongoing actions, it would be far better. Well, obviously that's called character development. Normal reaction to abuse them isn't to become broody, it's to be antisocial so they can do the training thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the big thing about Naruto, specifically, like, people like, oh, he was abused, and it's like, well, no, if you look at his actual behavior patterns, he was neglected. They ignored him. They wouldn't let their kids play with him. That is not behavior of a child who's been abused.
That is child abuse. Technically speaking, under the law, that is child abuse, but it is not like they're kicking the shit out of him, and on every birthday, they have a mob that goes around and stabs the living fuck out of him. Like,
burns him too. Don't forget.
Oh yeah,
they also
can't
douse
forget
him in
burning
alcohol
at the
and burn
stake.
him.
I've seen that one. I've seen they all raped him once. I've seen that. You know,
Sneaky. Those three things happened in one fic.
No, I've seen it. I know. I've just seen, you know, fic stop at the burning, fic stop at the stabbing, fic not stop at the raping.
And then one fic decided to have all three of those things occur on his birthday for some reason.
Yeah.
Why did you show me that fic? I still hate you for some of the fics you showed me.
You know, because. Yeah, having a mob chase after him would make him shun human contact instead. Yeah. Not make him want to be Hokage. Indeed. Yeah, that is one thing I do. You will constantly hear me harp on about in Naruto stories and Harry Potter stories. Is the fucking the Dursleys. Jesus Christ, when it comes to Harry Potter. Oh yeah, no, they raped 327 anal fissures. Yeah. No. The fox hunts, those can be fun. Shame they appear in every fucking fanfiction, are very rarely ever done with subtlety or nuance. I have seen them done well. Out of the over 1,200 fictions I have written at this point. Read at this point. I have seen abused young Naruto in terms of the fox hunt stereotype. Done well only like 3 times. It's the same thing for harems. I've only seen harems done well like 3 times.
Yeah.
And not a single one of the abused Naruto stories or the harem stories have ever been completed. Just think about that. Just think about that.
Yeah, personally, I'm still waiting for a good fan fiction that takes a cue from one of the filler arcs in which Minato's not an idiot on the night of the Nine-Tailed attack. And,
there is. I have seen some good ones that went with that, but apparently Minato being abusive as fuck is just a better compelling story for some reason to people.
You mean the guy...
Harry! You're a lizard, Harry!
I'm not sure how to feel about that. Like, this is the man who has a reputation of
Share your ways, a wise one. Which of the harems is
slaughtering an entire platoon for doing... I don't remember what they did to make him do that. All I know is they did... Wait, no, was that the Obito thing? Like, he slaughtered an entire platoon? Was it... Did we ever link that to Obito's death? Or alleged death? Or was the yellow... No, the Yellow Flash was before that. God, how did he get the Yellow Flash name again? Like, there was a specific incident.
He was defending the bridge. I think that's what it was. He was defending this one stone bridge or whatever, and he, like, killed, like, 100 stone ninja or something in, like, a couple seconds, and so he was called the Yellow Flash.
I'll look it up.
Yeah, something like that.
I can't remember. Like, he did something.
As far as good harems, Isley, I mean, you can search again. My fanfiction account's listed below. Search my favorites; they're there. Like I said, none of them are completed, and they will probably never be, because it's been several years on all of them. It's just harem stories never get completed because there's just too many characters that the author. Conflict of personality eventually burns out the author, or trying to get so many characters on screen will burn out the author. It's just... There's just so much more work required for a harem fic that most fanfiction authors will just be like, fuck it. And I think that's the problem, is because a lot of people don't think, they don't answer the, let's tie this back into the shit I said at the beginning. They don't think about the why. Yeah. They don't think about why they're doing it. They don't, why does he need a harem? Does it help your story's process at all? Does it help whatever topic your main goal is?
Is it even remotely interesting?
Yeah. As far as writing the final scene first and working towards it, I mean, that works sometimes. I know the story we're currently writing, which is linked down below, fucking self-plug. Dark Souls story, we did write the ending quite early on, maybe around chapter 3. We've rewritten the ending like 3 times now. Because it's going to be the same ending, but it keeps evolving in how it occurs. So I would say definitely have an idea of where you want your story to end. Yes, Dank Souls! We have written a Dank Souls story in the panel down below.
Which we need to update at some point, because we are now past the 1-year mark.
Yes, we are. Apparently, according to reviewers, we do a good balance of comedy and seriousness. Now, these reviewers may or may not be biased, but they're not us. That's the key part.
You sure?
They are not our sock puppets.
What if you've been secretly, without your own knowledge, improving your reviews?
I'm too lazy to do that.
So, I was about to say, that sounds like a lot of effort.
That sounds like a lot more effort than I would ever put into anything.
Yeah.
There you go, folks.
Let's see, Isley says...
We're not artificially increasing our own reviews because we're all lazy.
Silver Isley, Minato killed the whole army, if I'm remembering it right. It was during the Third War, and that's where he got his name. I recommend taking notes from Worm's Extinction arc in that it kept the action close and didn't spend much time on others other than making the casualties a bit more impactful. Oh, thanks, Google. I mean, certainly if you enjoy it, go ahead. If you don't enjoy it, definitely leave a review. Tell us what we're doing wrong. We always want to improve.
Yeah. The only bad reviews are ones that, you know, don't serve a purpose.
The only bad reviews are the so good morpless.
No, also, you know, kill yourself. Those are bad reviews as well, because that.
Oh yes, the inevitable criticism. Kill yourselves.
At least explain why you want us to do this, please.
At least give us more details than that. Come on, man. Don't make us work for it. But yeah, no, it is as oh, dude, those, yeah, I because you have 2,000 follows, I would assume you have plenty. You have a cornucopia of kill yourselves and update pleases.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, the reviews where people say update please on the chapter you released 20 minutes ago. I have seen those before.
Update please. Dude, I put this out 20 minutes ago. Update please.
You update it faster!
No, go away. Kill yourself.
Oh yes, I do love the reviews that I've seen before, is where they're like, completely trash grammar and spelling, commenting on how the author has completely trash grammar and spelling.
Yeah. Those are good ones.
But no, as far as writing a story, since Chrysanthemum mentioned it, outlines are pretty good. But like I said, the why. Why are you doing it? What is the goal of this story? Is probably the most important part. You can get away with not having an outline if you know where you want to take the story, if you know why you're doing the story. If your goal is, for example, I'll use Core's story. The goal of his Professor Arc story was, what if his papers were so good he got hired as a professor? What happens? That was his why.
Idiocy happens.
I'm doing it. Why? What happens? What you know, how do the characters react? That's what his entire story was based off of. And that's why he was able to take a direction he did. Because he knew where he was going with it.
And it turned out to be a fantastic story that we all want more of.
Yep.
Only written review I ever had on my work was a Wattpad of "This sucks." Oh yes, can you add X to harem? Oh my god.
The best part
I
is
fucking hate harem stories. Kugel, you missed it earlier in a previous podcast, which, by the way, if you want to view them, you can do so in the panels down below that links to our YouTube page that archives all of this. We had stumbled upon a Naruto story in the last podcast in which Naruto had a list of 20+ harem members, 4 of which were villains that were turned female. Hey Sneaky, can you add X to harem? Sure, Isley. I'll add Mira to the harem.
You don't even have a harem.
How do you feel about that? Adding Mira to the harem.
Speaking of which, Max, we should continue writing our terrible story.
Yeah, what is the goal of the main character? Yeah, that is true as well. I've actually think I found a Dark Souls harem story before. It wasn't very good. Isn't that... Why can't I take the ring?
How do you even... How do you miss...
What are you
saying? Shut up.
Wait, what are you talking about? Why can't I have the ring?
Why can't I have the ring? Was that not a harem story? I never read it. So.
No.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. It was a... Here's my headcanon. And it's not even as well done as it probably could be.
Well, shit! What was that story? The Familiar of Zero one? Where it got gay real quick? And I mean gay in the gay of way of gayness of scissoring? Gay?
Was this the one where Artorias was summoned?
Artorias was summoned and Luis was corrupted by the Abyss and turned into a monochrome version of herself, which spread to Tabitha when she hugged her.
I don't think it spread to Tabitha, but
What?
I don't know. That story's off the time at this point.
All Familiar of Zero stories are trash. I have to disagree with you. I have found 2 that weren't, and they were fabulous.
No need for Hulkagenian logic. I'm sorry. That is
yeah, okay, actually 3. No need for Hulkagenian logic. Then there is Shade Knight's Warcraft 3 crossover, and then there is his Necron crossover. I don't think that was by Shade Knight though. There was a Necron
crossover.
There is a Necron crossover where she summons a Necron, and the Necron's like, "Oh my god, you can summon me. Therefore, you're one of the Star Gods." And
I need you to link this to me.
Oh my god, it's great. It is fucking amazing. It's also completed. That's the important part.
Wow.
Yep.
Overwatch, you gonna work there?
Let's see, blah, blah, blah. My most reviewed story is a Ruby times Naruto, and most of the shit there is one of those 2 types. It wasn't even harem. I'm planning 3 max. It was an Why can't I take the ring wasn't a harem. It was insectophilia.
Wouldn't it be arachnophilia, actually?
Why does he fuck Quelaag or whatever?
Yes.
But how? There's no.
Right in the spite of douchey. Oh god.
That's not what he wrote, Sneaky.
Shh. I don't want to get knocked off of Twitch for foul language.
Fair enough.
What,
does that mean you gotta start censoring yourself?
No. I just wasn't gonna say pussy.
Sneaky!
Warhammer 40k, Familiar of Zero, Necron. Yeah, the Familiar of Zero Necron story spawned a couple of people attempting to do other variations of it. I saw someone summon a Nexus or a Node or whatever it's called from Command and Conquer 3, and they tried to do it that style. But God damn it. In the meantime, I'll leave Kujal's picture up, which is a picture of a crow and or raven with a thinking pose, which is 10 out of 10, sir. Favorite stories. Category filter, familiar of Zero. Let's see.
God, are you actually doing this?
I'm looking it up right now.
Okay.
Dude, I only have like 15 familiar of Zero favorites, so. Enslaved, was it? Yes, here we go. Here's another Shade Knight fic. Enslaved. It is familiar of Zero, but all the laugh moments are removed.
Why would you do this?
It gets dark. It's Shade Knight. It gets dark. Very quick.
You know, I worry about authors' mindsets sometimes when you look at what they write most often.
No. There are authors that are like, I was in a real bad place when I wrote this.
Oh yeah. Okay,
I know, and I'm talking about the people who consistently continue writing stuff like that. It's like, are you getting out of that dark place anytime soon, or have you just moved in for good?
Has the darkness,
yes, here we go. Herald of the Void.
The darkness!
Okay, so here's another good Familiar of Zero story in which a demi-lich gets summoned into Familiar of Zero. And it's fantastic. From D&D. And here is the final one, Herald of the Void.
Why are there so many of them?
Here you go, Herald of the Void. It is a Warhammer Familiar of Zero Cross. It is probably one of the best Familiar of Zero stories I've read. It's why it's on my favorites list. Is there any smut fic based on Professor Arc? Probably.
I'm sure.
Let's see. Blah blah blah. Let's see what else has Eiley said. What was the name for the Necron Familiar of Zero fic? The name for the Necron of Familiar of Zero fic, Isley, is Herald of the Void.
And Sneaky's dropped a link for it.
I've dropped the link in the Twitch. So I'll give that to you as well.
Because we care about all
YouTube
our viewers,
chat.
both YouTube and Twitch.
Yeah, I'm trying to write your way out of the dark place only tunnels you deeper. Yeah, pretty much. Yep, no problem, Isley.
A lot of lost.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh,
5,
good.
6, 7,
I already like you even more, Hugel, because you have an axe quote here. Feel the Axe of Axe by Mogul Khan. Dota 2 community, I need to reiterate at this point, I thrive off of salty players. Dota 2 community provides me with so much salt to keep my metaphorical iodine levels up. And it ain't easy being 5k. We're not 5k. Anyway. But anyway, back to our original.
Yeah, you know what? It is 9 o'clock. We're done.
Yeah, alright. I'll queue up Cold Rune for next time.
Cool.
Yep. I guess we're not gonna be reading. I guess we're not gonna be reading Natsu and his demonic harem.
You know, I think we can give that one a pass.
Let's just skip ahead. Boom. Yeah. Blah blah. We'll meet again, partner. Boost. Okay. Completely out of character interactions. Really trash flashbacks. We are the Dragon Knights. Wow, I want to kill myself. Oh, God, glad we didn't waste time actually reading this and actually spent it on important things like talking about how to write.
And how to find good fiction.
And how to find good fiction. Which is basically just listen to me.
Wow, humble.
I am so humble. I'm so humble. So humble. Dota fanfics are weird. I don't play, but I'm guessing they aren't all chicks with dicks, as the saying goes. I don't look for Dota fanfics.
If it's about Templar Assassin.
Apparently,
yes it is.
According to Atin, there's apparently a lot of fetish art for chick with dick, a Templar Assassin. I wouldn't know since I don't look for it, but apparently Atin does. Make that of what you will. I know about this
because Richard showed me this. Sneaky.
Never check Dota fanfiction. Yes, never check Dota fanfiction.
Sneaky. There is an entire subreddit dedicated to it.
I'm sure there is. I'm sure you did not stumble upon that and get interested either.
I don't know. Look, the only reason I found it is because of nose hair. Y'all should ask nose hair how he found it.
Thanks for the recommendations. I look forward to spending all of my free time. No problem, Isley. Little side note, we do actually have someone in the audience working on another fanfiction app that lets you better sort out trash. It's still a work in progress. Xerxes is the one working on it, so shout out to him. Whenever he gets that officially done, I'll be able to actually create a custom list of recommended fanfictions that I can promote using that app. So whenever that's around, I will be adding it to the panels down below. Anyway, do we need to cover any other sections today?
I don't believe so.
I don't think so,
we
but
pretty much touched on everything.
And now we're all gonna go the fuck to sleep.
All right then, and I'll give up the closing statements then. No, we actually cut it short this time around. Anyway. Thank you all for joining us on today's podcast. As always, in the YouTube link down below, you can find the YouTube account in which all of our podcasts are archived at, or you can simply find it by typing into YouTube Fanfiction Contempt Theater 9000. There's a playlist that auto-updates with every podcast if you are so inclined to watch more of it.
Why you would go back and watch the early stuff, I don't know, because that's when we look at some real
trash.
Don't
look at our early stuff. My mic was bad, we were bad, we're still bad, haven't improved really, but I like to think we've improved in production value areas, like graphics.
I was going to say, production value has gone up, in that 4 is more than 0.
Indeed. But yes, as always, if you want to check us out live, 7 p.m. I should say, or 1900 military time, Eastern Standard Time, every Tuesday and Friday. We will be here, suffering.
Yay.
Down below in the panels below of the Twitch stream, you will find links to both the joint fanfiction account for the three of us, in which we've posted 2 fanfictions, one's of Dark Souls, one's of Ruby. You'll find the link to my Discord server that I have set up, where you can talk and shit there, I guess. I don't know why you
can ask
would.
us questions. You can have a community. You can all come together.
We can community together.
Terrible fanfiction.
Eventually I'll get that fully up and running with bots and announcements and, you know, all that fun stuff to alert people when I'm starting. If you're part of that Discord.
Could let us have some, like, announcement powers that would speed the whole process
I mean,
up.
you guys do have announcement powers.
According to Max, we don't.
No, we don't.
You should. I'll check on that later then.
Anyway,
I can't wait for you guys to find another 500 anal tear story. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, good night, everyone. Everything in the panels down below, as always. There's always more, and it always gets worse.